Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Learn 101. I'm Mary Ann Pando, a second-year education student taking up Bachelor of Early Childhood Education in the University of Northern Philippines. For today's episode, we are talking about typical and atypical development in children. All children grew and developed. At a certain age, there are developmental milestones a child should meet. Children grow and develop at different rates. Some children may already meet a milestone at a certain age while some children haven't. Those children who doesn't meet a milestone at a certain age are experiencing delays. Children who experience delays will still meet those milestones but with a slower rate compared to others. There are two kinds of development and they are the typical and atypical development. So, what is typical and atypical development? In typical development, children have a generic progress in their development compared to their peers with the same age. Also, children are able to meet the developmental milestones at the exact age that is expected to meet those. While in atypical development, children are lagging behind or is way ahead in their development compared to their peers with the same age. Also, children are seen to have a problem in meeting their developmental milestones at a certain age. Here are the different developmental milestones at a certain age. At 2 months, number 1, can self-soothe by sucking on her hand. Number 2, starting to smile at others. Number 3, alerted by sounds and turns towards them. Number 4, making cooing noises. Number 5, beginning to track people and objects with her eyes. Number 6, can push up while on his belly and hold his head up. At 4 months, number 1, will try copying your movements and facial expressions. Number 2, will smile spontaneously. Number 3, his cries will start to sound different if he is hungry, in pain, or tired. Number 4, he will babble and copy sounds he hears. Number 5, will begin to recognize objects and people she is familiar with from a distance. Number 6, will reach for toys with one hand. Number 7, is responsive to love and affection. At 6 months, number 1, is usually happy and responds to the emotions of others. Number 2, is starting to differentiate between familiar faces and strangers. Number 3, will recognize and responds to her name. Number 4, puts vowel sounds together and likes taking turns saying them with you. She is starting to make some consonant sounds too. Number 5, he is curious. He looks at objects nearby and tries to grab ones that are out of reach. Number 6, is starting to be able to sit without a support. Number 7, is rolling over in both directions. At 9 months, number 1, is starting to cling onto adults she's familiar with. Number 2, might be afraid of strangers. Number 3, understands the word no and makes lots of different sounds. Number 4, he'll start to copy movements he sees and sounds he hears. Number 5, likes to play peek-a-boo and look for things you hide. Number 6, pulls up, using furniture for support to stand up. And number 7, is starting to crawl. At 1 year, number 1, cries when his parents leave. Number 2, is shy around strangers. Number 3, is using basic gestures like waving and saying basic words like mama and dada. Number 4, her bubbles sound more like speech. Number 5, can follow simple directions and lets go of objects without help. Number 6, he puts objects in containers and can take them out. Number 7, he is starting to learn how to eat on his own. At 18 months, number 1, points to show interest in something. Number 2, shakes his head no. Number 3, can say several single words. Number 4, can follow one-step commands without gestures. Number 5, can help undress himself. Number 6, uses utensils when feeding. At 2 years. Number 1 says short sentences with 2 to 4 words. Number 2 knows familiar body parts. Number 3 starts to sort shapes and colors. Number 4 can follow 2-step instructions. Number 5 makes or copies straight lines and circles. Number 6 is starting to run. There are several ways on how we can assess atypical behavior. Number 1, identify skill levels that indicates that a child's development is atypical, either advanced or delayed, in comparison to the average child of the same age. Number 2, assess whether patterns of behavior are reflections of a child's personality, are culturally influenced, or if they indicate an area of concern. Number 3, record the age at which skills emerge, sequence of skills, and quality of skill level, as well as how they contribute to a child's ability to function. Make a note of dates and times of occurrences to identify patterns, duration, and frequency of behavior, types of activities, setting interactions with peers or other influences. Number 4, share collected information and concerns with parents and ask them to contribute any observations or insights they may have about the behavior. Number 5, adapt the learning program or environment to support the child's strengths and weaknesses while providing external resources or ideas that may help parents. It is important to know child development for us to learn and understand the child progress, for us to understand how a child develops as he or she grows. If we know about child development, then we can be able to learn if a child have red flags or problems. If we see red flags or problems, then we must immediately make a way or intervention. We must make a way to help children who have a problem regarding their progress. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed our episode and I hope that you learned something. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on my Instagram account at MaryAnnPando and you can ask me questions there. See you all next episode. Bye everyone!